Hi, I'm Ken Gogel. Today I'd like to talk about the defense of employment lawsuits, which is an area of practice that we provide representation for our business clients. Very often, these matters will start with a phone call that I get from a business owner who wants to know whether or not an employee can be fired. And typically, the employee has done something that is a violation of the employer's policies or procedures, and they want to discharge that employee. Typically, my first question is the conduct that you are complaining about something that is prohibited by your policies and procedures that have been communicated to your people? And is it something that you have documented in your file, in the personnel file, and in the corporation's records? The problem becomes that once you make a decision to discharge an employee, very, very often there is a lawsuit that follows that discharge. And then the question is, can that lawsuit be defended? Now, very often the employer's position is correct, but in litigation, it's a question of what you can prove. What I often say to my clients is, you need to document, document, and document. And what I mean by that is you need to document your employee practices and procedures so that they're communicated to your employees. You need to document the employee's file so that their performance over their term of employment is something that you have a record of. And by all means, you need to document any discipline so that if it needs to be proven that this is not the first instance where there was a problem with this employee, you have a record. And what I prefer my employers to have is a progressive discipline policy. And what that means in plain English is you don't fire an employee for the first infraction unless it's extremely serious, and those infractions would be spelled out in your employment handbook. You have a procedure in your manual and in your policies where employees have certain levels of discipline until they get to a point where their conduct is no longer going to be tolerated in the employment organization, and then they're going to be terminated. Now, the reason to have all these policies and procedures in place is because when the inevitable claim comes from the employee saying that they have been terminated wrongfully, you can defend those lawsuits by taking your documentation and providing it to the court to show that all of your policies and procedures have been followed in terms of discipline. This employee was not following the rules and regulations appropriately, and this was not the first time. That provides a successful defense. Without documenting, you have a situation where an employee may have a successful claim against your business, and that's not something you want. If you have a claim from an employee that results in a lawsuit, call Gogel and Gogel. Most importantly, you need to have been talking to us all along so that your documents are in order and we can provide a successful defense.